Hi there. Thanks for coming to drawing class. So today we're on the third class in our series of how to look and draw. And today I want to teach you a little trick that really helps when you come across a problem in drawing. And what we're going to do today is we are going to draw negative space. So this is a drawing that's done as you normally would have it. But before the child did this drawing, she started off by doing one like this. She figured out the shapes by looking not so much at that, but at the negative space. The negative space is the space behind your object. And sometimes when you're trying to draw something, you look at the contour lines like we did with Mr. Bear. But sometimes when it gets a little tricky, if you look at this shape and focus on that, drawing this shape, it will leave your vase or pot there perfectly. So I'm going to show you today how to look at negative space, the space in between objects, so that you can draw better. We'll be doing a drawing like this of items like this. So stay tuned and I'll show you how. Okay, so you'll notice on this picture that we are just seeing the outline of the pot. We're not seeing any of the lines, which if you looked at the pot up closely, you would see the lines that go across. Our artist here, and this is done by a student, just looked at the space around the object and slowly went around those shapes with her eyes, making her pencil move at the same time. Here's another one. Again, focused on the distinctive shape of the pot, drew that, and it helped to really get the shape of the pot right. So for this project, you're going to need your sketchbook, a pencil. This is a darker drawing pencil that I'm going to use so it'll show up. An eraser's handy, and this is called a tortillon. That's a blending tool, and I'm going to bring some of those down to the 6th grade classroom for you to use. Okay, in addition to all these things, I also need to be able to look at the pots, and I will put a picture in your Google Classroom, or I will also bring the pots down to the classroom so you can actually look at these for a model. Okay, so let's get started. I have to admit that I have a hard time talking and drawing at the same time, so I lightly penciled this in. But I started at the top of the pot, pressing down with my pencil. I go very slowly, just like when we were drawing the bear. You want to go slowly, keep your eyes on the object, and move your eyes around the pot. And as you move your eyes around the pot, move your hand at the same time. Slowly. What happens here? I'm looking at the space in between, and I'm looking at the edge of the pot. I'm following the edge of the pot with my eye. I notice at the bottom it goes out, then back in. When I get over here, I am just going to draw a line and go over to my next pot. Again, it's very distinctive. Goes out, slowly. Slow. That's one of the bigger tricks, is to take your time. Around. I'm looking at that contour line. As my eyes move, my hand moves. And I didn't get it quite right because it doesn't quite match, but that's fine. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back on this side of the pot. Over. Following my shape, slowly down. Oh, something happens here. This goes out, around, and this handle goes slowly because it's an unusual handle. This is a very unusual pot that my son brought me from Egypt. And I can tell if you're really looking because it does not look like your average pot. This part is hard to get the shape of it right unless you look at the space in between. So I am going to look not at the pot, I'm going to look at this hole here, and I notice that this comes like this, comes out, back around like this, whoops, over, goes up, but it curves in and goes out. So by looking at my negative space, I made this a little skinny here, but by looking at my negative space, I get the shape of the part right. The next thing I'm going to do is take this tortillon, and today I am going to take this black line and blend it out with my tortillon into the negative space. And the next time we have drawing class, we are going to draw the same item, but a little differently. So you're going to want to do that. And this tortillon is nothing special. It's actually rolled paper. You could do the same thing with your finger. It's just a lot harder. But the tortillon adds a wonderful element to your pictures when you can add that shading to really make your picture a lot more interesting. So I hope you'll do this, because the more you do these projects, the better you get at drawing. And when you're all done, don't forget to take a picture of your work and send it to me. I can't wait to see it.